Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Press. We're reaching you live from KAFTAN television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now we'll move straight to our analyzing the stories that we read out to you earlier. And my guest on the show today is Richard Oriri. He is a politician. Great to have you on the show today, sir.
It's my pleasure, Annabel. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so let's start with the Punch newspaper. Quite a number of stories, but we'll start with the burning and the pressing issues at the moment as we move straight to Rivers State and the tussle between the current governor of Rivers State, that's Fubara, and then the former governor of Rivers State, Wike. And then I'm sure a lot of people will be asking, what is the business with the former governor of Rivers State with the present one? But then it doesn't look like that's field is going to end anytime soon. The Punch newspaper says, retire now. Presidency tells okay, let me leave that one first. Then it says that Rivers Assembly in crisis as Wike's loyalists move to impeach Fubara. But then when you check Daily Independent this morning, it says Wike, Fubara's rift festers as move to impeach governor fails. And the writer says suspended house leader emerges speaker at John's sitting. Police shot at me. That's coming from Fubara. Governor sacks chief judge, chief of staff, and other loyalists to Wike. PDP governor said to intervene, summon emergency meeting. But then the elder statesman, that's Chief Edwin Clark, is saying that Wike plans to remove Fubara and to install his speaker as the governor. So my question is, I saw an interview that was conducted by that was carried out by a media organization, and then Wike came out to say that I have no hand in anything that is happening with the current governor. In fact, he's coming to me to ask for ideas and what my advice, but I asked him to go ahead with it. So it looks like I've washed my hands again off anything that concerns the current governor. But then you just see that that's not the case at the moment. What exactly do you make of all of this?
Thank you, Annabel. Good morning, Nigerians. The current political rift between I can say it's still it's a speculation. People are speculating that it must be the former governor, the current minister of FCT, His Excellency Wike, that is responsible for what is going on in Rivers. But
so you say even the Chief Edwin Clark is also speculating?
It's speculation because Wike has not come out to douse the tension. Yes, he has not said any, he has not made any comment concerning what is going on in his state yet. The governor himself, and the governor has not come out openly to mention his name, that it is Wike, and these are the reasons why this is happening. He has not said anything. But he said what he kept saying is that the entire Rivers people who gave him the mandate to oversee the affairs of the state on their behalf, they should ask the assembly members who are pushing to impeach him to tell them the offense he has committed. That's what he's saying. He has not mentioned Wike, that they should ask Wike the offense he has committed. But he kept mentioning the House of Assembly members, the few persons or so that sat yesterday to say they are impeaching him. He's the one, he's asking Rivers people to ask them questions. And the current happening, yes, is expected, but it's too early. It's expected, but it's too early. The issue of godfatherism in Nigeria that we have been saying, clamoring to see how the constitution we do it, the constitution will be either amended or I don't know how to put it, so that this issue of godfatherism will be pushed aside. Like what happened in Kano between Kwankwaso, the former governor, and the Minister of Defense, and the immediate past governor of Kano State, there is a Ganduje. It happened this way. Currently, if you go to Benue State, the current Secretary to the Government of the Federation, His Excellency George Akume, he single-handedly picked the current governor to run on the platform of APC as the candidate of the party. But today, they are not going the same way in Benue. If you go to Akwa Ibom, it happened that way. Akpabio and the person he said he should be governor and all of that. It's happening almost everywhere. It's expected, but it's too early. It's too early. It's too early. But
when you say it's too early, are you saying that just because they just
it's expected that it will happen recently? Because There is no governor in Nigeria in the history of democracy from 2009, from 1999 till date. No governor has ever installed a successor, and at the end there is no crisis between the two of them. Because this issue of fatalism, what we call fatalism in modernization theory. If fatalism, there is a situation where you pick people who are of your own lineage to occupy certain position, selfish game. And once you have picked somebody to take over from you, when you have quality people who can truly lead the masses, as governor, as president, as anything, even senator. But at the end, you see the executive officers deciding who will take over from them.
So it's not. So the decision is not by the electorate.
It's not by the electorate. If you go to Kogi State, it always happened from the party level. If parties will allow free and fair primaries, I don't think most of these things will keep happening. Because if you allow free and fair primaries at the party level, the members of the party, particular party like APC now, the members of APC will have that free hand in choosing who should fly their party's flag. But you will see it happening from the angle of the governor. Whoever the governor chooses to take over from him will always win primary of parties. And if it happened that way, maybe the right person would not be picked, or the person who will even govern very well will not be the one that will be picked at the end. And at the end, when the person who have installed you will be directing you, even when he's not, like what is happening between in River State now. If it happened at the end now that Wike is responsible for it, meaning there are certain positions. If you look at what the governor did, even that is still a speculation, because nobody of the current governor, there is Fubara. If you look at what he has done, the class of persons he has sacked so far, he has sacked his chief of staff. He sacked. But
what's wrong with it? What if they are not performing?
No, those people he has sacked down. If truly what is happening is coming from Wike, they are the loyalists of the former governors that he is sacking from his administration. He's now trying to form his own personal government.
But he is the one in administration, so he should form his own government.
That is what I'm saying.
That's the same thing happening in
when they were still together. When they were still together, now the war is having a crack already, and the persons he has given him, to say this person should occupy this position, this person should occupy this position, he will now be seeing those people as people that will be insider in his government. So anybody that comes from Wike, if truly Wike have hand in what is happening, he will definitely sack them and bring in people that will be loyal to him and not loyal to his predecessor. So that is clearly what is going on in Rivers State. Okay, but then I thank God the elders, the stakeholders from Rivers, the elders statement, they are already on their way from Port Harcourt now. From what I read, they're on their way from Port Harcourt now, coming to Abuja to have a discussion with Governor Wike and the current Speaker of FCT, current Minister of FCT, to see how the problem between him and the current governor will be reduced. And so peace return to the state. So
like I asked before, is that actually an issue? Because when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in, he removed the chief of staff of the former president, Muhammadu Buhari. He removed all the ministers of the former president. He removed almost, down to the speaker, down to his spokesperson. Is it an issue?
The issue of our President, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is the president-elect of Nigeria today, his case is quite different.
Why is it different?
The case is, why I said his case is quite different is that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it was so glaring and so open to the whole world that the immediate past president of Nigeria, Muhammad Buhari, did not give him any support. And since he did not give him support to become president of this country, almost all the ministers who read the body language of the president, that the president was not in support of Tinubu to pick the party ticket, the APC ticket as presidential candidate, majority of them were towing the line of the former president. And the current president, the Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he knew it. And he quickly formed his own clique that worked for him. Having taken over the presidency from Buhari, and he's now the president of the country, those who assisted him will be the ones he will make use of. If you look at his cabinet presently now, the only person that succeeded in his cabinet is the Minister of Aviation. That is was the Aviation Minister, Festus Keyamo. He's the only former minister under the government of Buhari that succeeded in making the member of the current president.
But you have other organizations like the Diaspora Commission. You still have the same person there.
Diaspora Commission have no option than to stand with Tinubu, because even before now, Tinubu brought her to government. She was Tinubu's candidate, and she was loyal to the end. And that is why she's still reaping from what she stood for.
So all this is about loyalists.
Where is Amechi today? Amechi was supposed to be in this current government, but he's nowhere to be found because he never gave his support to Wike. He contested the presidency, the primary election of APC. He contested.
But have you forgotten that Wike also contested for that
Wike contested under PDP. Wike was not in APC. Even to today, he's not in APC. He's a PDP member. It's what he did to the emergence of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that have made him now to... This is unification. Okay, so government is not it's not winner takes all.
So you call it unification, but some other person calls it a government of compensation. Do you agree?
Government of compensation, government of unification, they are
they're not the same thing.
They are same thing. Compensation, unification. That is, you don't just because he is magnanimous in his victory, and that is why he's picking best hands from other political parties to form part of his government.
You've not answered my question. Is it compensation or unification? They are not the same thing, Richard Oriri.
Yes, in democracy, inclusiveness is one of the basic fabrics of democracy. Inclusiveness. You don't just win as APC candidate today as president of this country and you pick all your cabinet members, every person that will serve under your administration from your own political party. You have to stretch your hand to another political party and pick the best hand too from the other party. Possibly that was what the president has done by picking the Wike. If you look at the River State, clearly you see that Wike did his best. He was a governor of a infrastructure governor. He did his best. So
the commissioning governor.
He did his best. If you go to Ebonyi State, Governor Umahi and Senator Umahi, he did his best too. He's now the minister.
Okay, so that it's even good that you actually remembered.
Yes, he did his best.
Former governor of Ebonyi State. That's
David Umahi. Yes,
but he also contested the election too.
He contested and later withdrew and stood behind the president, the current president.
So your ability to withdraw and be loyal.
You can withdraw and shift all your support to a particular candidate. And that was what he did. And the governor recognizes his impact as governor. And that's why he made him Minister of Works today. Because if you go to Ebonyi was seen as one of the in fact, Ebonyi was placed at the background of development in Nigeria. But today, Umahi made it possible for Ebonyians to be known all over the world. Today, if you go to Ebonyi, you see real infrastructures in Ebonyi State, roads, flyovers. Ever since Ebonyi was created, there has not been any flyover anywhere in the state. But today you have more than 10 flyovers across Ebonyi.
All right, I will bring that question to you for the last time, Richard Oriri. Is it compensation or unification? Because now you said
you can just allow it to go. It's compensation.
Okay. All right. So still on today's headline. You have. I'll take it from. I think I saw it on Voice of Liberty. Talks about. I can't find, but I'll definitely check. It talks about how President. Okay. Daily Independent says Tinubu talks tough, warns ministers against campaign of calumny, but he says that he has confidence in the integrity of his chief of staff. So is he saying that my chief of staff has more integrity than the ministers, the 48 ministers, that he has a hand in the appointment? Is that what he's saying?
What is there is that if you look at all of them working with the president today, from the executive minister, or among all the ministers working with the president today, I think Gbajabiamila is one of the closest person to the president. He is a strong politician, so he knows who is this and who is that. So for him to have known Gbajabiamila so well before even making the choice of picking him his chief of staff, he knows that what they are speculating on social media about Gbaja is not the true Gbaja that is working with him. And that's why he has to warn them. Because even before Gbaja was picked by the president to be his chief of staff, there were other persons who have interest to becoming the chief of staff. Even the current House of Rep member, chairman, finance, Faleke has strong interest to become that. And too many other persons who even formed the cabinet today, who most of them are ministers today, they fought to become the chief of staff. But the man, he knows all of them. He chooses the best from among them to be his chief of staff. So nobody should tell him what he knows best. He knows who they are, all of them. So Gbaja, because most of the, like this, I can call it a sponsored propaganda, just to say maybe if Gbaja is relieved of his appointment now, I will become.
Are you saying that sponsored propaganda is coming from the ministers?
Yeah. The man is not a kid. He knows where it's coming from. He's not coming from outside. Your best enemy is within. He's not from outside. So he knows that even if he will succeed in this is administration, even if he will succeed, it will come from within. If he will fail, it will come from within. Buhari failed willfully because he was not in charge of his cabinet. He was not in charge of those working under him. So the president is coming openly now to tell them that I am in charge. Don't drag me left, right, and center. Don't drag me anywhere. But face your office. Don't go and peruse into what other person is doing in his office. I am watching all of you. That is to tell you that the president is in charge.
But then one would always ask, when he appointed those ministers, most people would just say that after all, he's just appointing his own boys. And then some other persons will come out to say, who do you appoint if it's not your own boys that you worked with? So you will remember the Minister of Finance, you remember the coordinating Minister of Solid Minerals, you remember most of his key persons that he worked with when he was the governor of Lagos, and then he made them the minister. Are you saying that he's also referring to these people because he trusts his chief of staff better than those people that he has worked with also?
He knows them all, as I said earlier. He knows all of them. He has worked with them, majority of them, from 1999. And that is why most of the appointments he has made so far, to me, they are against the principles of justice. They are against it. But on the other hand, you equally look at it. We're human beings. We don't think the way the person that wants to give you this position thinks. Maybe if you say, let me take this position from either North Central, take this position from either Northwest or Northeast or Southeast, if you give that position on the basis of sentiment, the person may not give you what you want. And so he is picking these people that he knows that have the best hand to handle this office. If not, I said it the other day, ordinarily he is supposed he's supposed not to pick almost all his economic team from the West. But if you look at Minister of Finance now, it's from the West, Southwest. Minister FIRS, the Federal Land Revenue Service boss, is Northwest. CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria, from Northwest. I can say all the revenue generating agencies in this country, Northwest. But
what's your point?
My point is that the appointment is going one-sided, but on the other hand, if you look at it, you will see that possibly he has seen, because as you see me, I have contested election 3 times. Now I know better how Nigerians behave and who they are. Even if you want to do some certain things under sentiment, you will be shooting yourself. So the ones he knows that can give him result, possibly they are the ones he is appointing
as revenue.
He's appointing. No, they can handle it well. They can handle it well. Possibly that is why he's. If not, I am against it. There should be a spread. There should be spread in all the appointment. But let's watch and see how it will go.
Okay. So I'll bring that question back to you, because you stated that his appointment is one-sided from the western part of the country.
Yes, yes.
So 2 questions, and I'd like you to unbundle them in one breath. The first question is, I've heard a lot of hue and cry coming from social media and off social media space, people saying that why is it that the appointment is coming from the western part of the country, especially those in charge of revenue, those in charge of task. So it means that I'm just giving more job to my own boys. That's like more job to the boys to return back the revenue back to that quota. Do you agree with that? That's one on the side. And secondly, are we back to nepotism that we've been complaining about from the previous administrations? Are we here again?
It's a problem. It's a problem. Generally, among politicians in Nigeria, it's a problem. My thesis, I wrote my thesis on the angle of religion and ethnicity in politics in Nigeria from 1999 to date. Religion and politics. Religion and ethnicity. Religion and ethnicity in Nigerian politics. The way things are going in the country, we will find it difficult to develop fast like other countries of the world. If you go to India, India practices secular democracy. India, they have more religious group than Nigeria. They have more ethnic groups than Nigeria. But they put both religion and ethnicity aside from governance. They don't interfere in any issue that concerns religion and ethnicity in governance. They separated them completely. If you look at Nigeria, Nigeria is trying to position itself that we practice secular democracy too. Because you look at national mosques, look at ecumenical center. That is the Central Church, Khan Center. Federal government built national mosques for the Muslims. Federal government built a Khan Center, ecumenical center for the Christians. But they are not separate. Those who are in government, they are not separating themselves from this ethnicity and religious issue. Anyone that comes, you look first into your clan. The first attempt is how you better the life of your clannish people. The second attempt is your local government. The third attempt is your state, those who are from your state. Then language, again, those who speak the same language with you, that's your tribe. Is going too deep into our vein that if we continue that way, Nigeria we find it difficult to develop.
Okay.
See India, the value system, the national value of India is on human capital development. They don't look at religion, they don't look at ethnicity. The caste system is India that is even more pronounced than anywhere. That is slave. They have people that are called slaves. They have people that are royal in India. But they are pushing all of that aside from governance. The Chinese people, the same way. In China, their national value is still human capital development. If you see America, not that there is no religion in America, not that there is no ethnicity in America, but they are pushing all of that aside, and they target the national value of America today is democracy, an open market economy.
Okay.
You understand? So until we put aside ethnicity and religion from governance, separately from governance, government shouldn't see this person to come from this place, shouldn't see this person to have come from this religion. But what you are looking at is the name Nigeria,
okay,
and competency.
Okay, so
this person have the capacity to handle this position. This person have the ability to deliver in this.
Okay, Richard, you've actually made your advice. You've put it as an advice, but you've not answered my question. My question is this appointment more, especially when you get to the revenue department, is it more job for my boys? And secondly, are we back again to
I will not take it to be more jobs for my boys. I have said it before. Possibly he has seen that those are the people that can deliver on what he wants. They can deliver. It's possibly they have the if you check their CV, you will know that yes, this person is qualified for this office. But to me, he can equally look into another region, let's say Northwest, and see whether he will still pick somebody that have the same capacity with this person to occupy such positions. So, jumping it in one only ethnic is not good for democracy.
So we're back to nepotism again.
That's just it. It's not good.
Let's go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll open our phone lines, so we'll take 1 or 2 calls before we end this program. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So now our phone lines are open. You can call in to make your contributions. Our phone numbers are right there. Remember, it's just 1 minute to every call, and turn down the volume of your TV set before you call. So we'll take 1 or 2 calls before we end the program. But let's still continue on our analysis. Daily Independent screams, in fact, almost all the newspaper, but I'll take it from Daily Independent first. Says presidential election, Supreme Court judgment erodes trust in electoral system and democracy, and that's coming from the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. He says judgment legitimizes illegality, identity theft, and perjury. And he also declares that he's not leaving the political scene anytime soon. Presidency advises Atiku to quit political ambition and take a rest. That's coming from the response coming from the presidency. But then when you go to the Punch newspaper, says retire now. Presidency tells Atiku SVP rubbishes Supreme Court's judgment. Apex Court legitimizes illegality. Atiku insists and urges INEC to verify those credentials. And then Atiku's presidential ambition doomed. Ex-VP is just desperate, coming from the presidency again. So we'll take the next one from the Nigerian Tribune. Says history will vindicate me over Supreme Court judgment, coming from Atiku. And then the writer says struggle for democracy should now be led by younger generations, he says. And quite a number of revelations that he made. I'm trying to look for it. There's a part where he now stated that at the end, he's the one that Nigerians are the ones that are losing. So I'm asking, so does it mean that one person wins, Nigeria loses with regards to the Supreme Court judgment?
The former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is not being fair to Nigerians. He cannot come on air. Even on the day of that judgment at the Supreme Court, him and Obi were giving serious warning to stop media press briefing and having a kind of a media court of their own. Atiku failed because he presented wrong legal matter before the court. The court cannot work in line with your own interests. The court work with what we call facts in law. If you don't have facts, what do they even say it in law, that he who sat
who accuses must be able to.
If you are sad, you must prove. If you are late that something is wrong, how can you prove before the court that this thing was wrong? Atiku did not present his case well, and that's what he presented was what they gave him. Is in the legal system is like garbage in, garbage out. What you put into the system is the result that the system will give to you.
So why is he still taking this credential issue seriously, and now he's taking it to INEC again?
It's over. Supreme Court have ruled over it, and that's the end.
So does he think that
whatever Atiku is saying, he's saying it to himself? I saw in one place somebody posted somewhere yesterday that Atiku, where he is inside the plane, Atiku is on his way to Dubai. He will not come again till 2027 to come and contest another president. So
that's
yes, Atiku should not destroy the image of our legal system. The court have pronounced what Atiku brought before. Atiku never challenged the victory of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It was only after credential, drug. Are you disputing the fact that Nigerians did not give their mandate to the president? It was not found. You can't find that anywhere in his allegations before the court. So you cannot come from the back door and say you want to become president on the basis that this person is not qualified. If he's not qualified, prove how you say he's not qualified. He couldn't prove it. And since he could not prove it, the court will have to rule against his own claim that this thing you bring before us, you have no proof. So coming on air to destroy the image of the Nigerian legal system, he's not just doing that to the legal system, he's doing that he's doing the damage to the entire country, to Nigeria as a nation. Okay, and we can't take it from him.
I found that this is on Voice of Liberty. Says Supreme Court verdict: Nigeria is the bigger loser. Atiku, that's coming from Atiku, calls for urgent electoral reforms. So we've been talking about we want a reform in the Electoral Act, and finally we got the Electoral Act before the elections. But now, is he saying that there should be an overhaul again, or we should go back to reforming the Electoral Act again because of the Supreme Court verdict?
What he want, how he want the reform to be, is what he has not said to Nigerians. How he want it to be. You cannot just say electoral reform. Electoral reform. Which area of the electoral system that you want Nigerians to speak through their legislators to reform? What type of reform is he talking about?
All right.
Until he say it, we are not aware of the kind of reform he's saying.
All right.
He's talking about.
So in one
maybe a reform that will make him to become president tomorrow. Because if Atiku have his way, he will change the law in a way that he will be the president. But it's not possible for him any longer as it is now.
You're accusing him as far as I'm concerned.
I'm not accusing him. He has said so many things against Nigerians. The mandate that was given to Bola Ahmed Tinubu came from Nigerians. If Atiku was their choice, there's no how he will not be given the same mandate. Atiku was not their choice, and he can't come from the back door and take the position of the entire population of Nigeria by force. So
all right, so in one word, since we are still you have the presidency coming out to say Atiku should go and take bed rest, giving so many response or clap back with regard to anything Atiku says, and then before the Supreme Court verdict, what you always hear is this matter is still sub judice, so nobody should talk about it. Now that it has already gone, can we just move to governance and leave this response and clapbacks again?
Governance is the next is the stage before all of us now. What we, the electorate, we are watching and patiently looking at the current members of the cabinet from federal to state level to local government is how they will give true governance to Nigerians. That is the next thing we are into now. So moving forward, basically now, as I said earlier, is governance. So they should allow those that have won their election to sit well and look into what is going on in the country. There's poverty. Children, they can't stay safe in their schools. Insecurity everywhere. Fuel crisis.
And then you have the governor of Borno State say that Nigeria may be removed from the map because of Boko Haram. So let's just move to governance and leave responses.
Like I said, there's a lot before us, a lot of problems before us to be solved. So they should allow those in government to form proper government and then look into governance for the betterment of Nigerians.
Thank you, Richard Oriri, politician. It's always a pleasure having this talk with you.
It's my pleasure too.
All right, viewers, that's where we end this conversation. That's the press for this morning. I will see you again next time. Keep watching KAFTAN TV because we've got loads of programs here for you. And remember, in case you have any sponsorship, any advert, do call on us and we'll be right there at your doorstep. I'll see you again. My name is Annabel Orji. Good morning and stay safe.